There's no other way to describe what happened to silver than a crash, and that's not being overly dramatic. That's right, silver has fallen for a second day in a row, more than just the usual Friday smackdown. We're going to explain what happened to silver and why we should not lose hope for silver to recover these losses in this video as we explore. Silver took a beating like we've not seen for 14 years. In 2 days, it's dropped 14%. That is massive. That is a continuation of the flash crash we saw yesterday. It is a full-on crash today, as it is now below $30 an ounce. I didn't think this would happen. It got down as low as $29.11 earlier in the day. Moments before these markets close, gold has taken a pretty big hit as well too, but it is still above $3,000 an ounce, although there was some threat of that earlier in the day when it got down to as low as $3,014. Silver lost $2.27 today, down 7.13%, now resting at $29.66. It got down to as low as $29.11 early in the day. As I mentioned, platinum and palladium also got hit, but make no mistake, for the second day in a row, silver got hurt the worst. And many people feel this could be the beginning. There's some who have been predicting that we could see silver reach $24 again. I tend to be skeptical of that. I think that this is emotional reaction to some degree, but there's some logistics behind it. A lot of it has to do with fear of demand that we've been seeing in the last couple of years for silver. We're referencing a piece here from FX Street that gives some insight, and there's other insights as well we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about what I feel about it. One other thing we should not mistake is the buying opportunity. And we've always heard the term buy on the dips, right? Well, there's no more truth to that than what we've been seeing in the last 2 days here. With a 14% drop, silver is certainly on sale. And so if it's within your budget, well, shop around for the best deals out there. I hope you will give my friends at Summit Metals a try. Elevate your wealth by increasing and bolstering up your dollar cost average. They have a widening selection of products now and really good service and fast shipping. So check out summitmetals.com. Silver has lost all of its gains since the beginning of March. And really, in a sense, this drop that we saw today is the worst we've seen in about 14 years. And as one fell swoop within the last 2 days, and the gold to silver ratio is now well above 100. It is sitting at 102.74. Now that gold to silver ratio is still not at the record high of 126 to 1. But I pretty much thought we would see that this year and go up to 100 to 1. But I didn't think it would be because of the drops. I thought it would be because of continual rising at some point. But here we are. Indeed, this is the case. And so when we're seeing that fall because of the concerns over the U.S. tariffs will lead to a noticeable slowdown in the global economy, which also affects silver demand. There's another piece by Reuters that talks about silver price dropping to over 8-week lows as concerns about demand for the industrial precious metal dominated sentiment due to recession fears stemming from U.S. President Donald Trump's slew of tariffs. And now with China having a retaliatory tariff as an effect, we are in the beginnings of a trade war with them. Other nations, though, are moving in the other direction, which means less tariffs will be implemented on those countries. Silver typically tends to move alongside gold, but industrial uses such as electronics and photovoltaics account for more than half of global demand, estimated at around 700.2 million troy ounces as of 2024, according to the Silver Institute Industry Association. By the way, the total mining of silver is about 825 million ounces. So the balance of that goes to us, silver stackers, and in the jewelry sector. Well, gold, traditionally seen as a refuge from political and economic uncertainty, has touched multiple record highs this year. Silver has struggled to break through the 12-year peak at $34.87 an ounce. It hit on October 22nd, 2024. And actually, for a moment, it did spike up to $34.91. I remember because I saw it that day. At $31 an ounce, silver has dropped nearly 9% since Trump's latest tariff announcements that we announced there on the 2nd of April. I would expect silver to lag gold until there is more economic clarity and a resolution in trade and tariff risk, given silver's exposure to industrial activity and PMIs, according to Akash Doshi, who's the global head of gold strategy at State Street Global Advisors. Trump's tariffs, robust central bank buying, increased flows into gold-backed exchange-traded funds, and worries about inflationary pressures have fueled safe haven gold surge in 2025. And we saw gold prices hit a record high of about $3,167.57 just this past couple of days ago. It's pretty amazing. But the gold and silver ratio, a measure of the amounts of silver needed to buy 1 ounce of gold, is now suffering. It is now again about 102.74, which is the highest that we've seen since June of 2020. And back then, it did climb as high as 126 to 1. I remember that because I saw it. The upside provided by heightened safe haven demand will be capped by silver's negative industrial angle, according to Ricardo Evangelista, senior analyst at brokerage from Active Trades. I see prices range-bound around the current levels with support at $33.50 and resistance at $34.50. Silver is moving with industrial metals, such as copper, lead, and zinc. We're going to see that, and that's understandable. It's the dual nature of silver. And that's the natural market at play, folks. It's just part of the psychology of the markets. We can't blame everything on manipulation or price suppression, although I do believe there is some of that happening. And sustained silver purchases by ETFs should help silver keep up with gold in the near term, barring a rapidly worsening global economic outlook, where people run to the safety of, yes, I hate to say it, but they run to the safety of the dollar. This happens all the time when we see the markets get hit, and the markets did get hit today with a more than 1,000-point drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's crazy, and so those are the kinds of things that we're seeing here, and people run to the safety of cash. But that is something that really should give us a little bit of an insight as to the movement of the Dow Jones. In fact, I'm looking at it now; it's actually down over 2,000 points around, 2,300 down for the Dow Jones. The dollar index is strengthening; it's up over 1%, and so people running to the safety of cash. That's what happens. We've seen this. We've been here before. It's a buying opportunity, and it's also a situation where the reaction is so emotional, so driven by psychology, that it's got to bounce back. The markets will bounce back, and gold and silver will bounce back, especially silver. So this is an opportunity, and we should see it as such. We're going to see more movement, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens when the markets open on Sunday. Every Sunday night, I do a market watch where we watch the precious metal market. So I hope you will join me then to see if the bleeding will continue or if there will be a stop in bleeding. Will, over the weekend in futures markets, react and people see this as an opportunity to pick up some silver, whether it be ETFs or in the physical form? Who knows? Or will it continue on its downward trajectory? I do think $30 is a strong support for silver. And even though we're below it now, I think we're going to see recovery. And I don't think this is going to last too much longer in my view. So what do I still think about $36 silver that I predicted at the beginning of the year? Heck yeah, I'm still with it. I think we're going to see $36 silver before the end of the year. Yay, though, we may see more pain, or it may start to stagnate around this area for a while. In other words, we may see it hover around $30 to $31, or maybe $29, $28 through the summer. There could be more pain ahead, but stability is really the groundwork, the bulwark that we're going to build upon that $36 silver. In other words, economic people realize that they overreacted, and in terms of the tariffs and people adapting to that, I think we're going to see demand pick back up for silver. Really, it's not subsided yet. It's the fear of the demand subsiding for silver. So keep in mind, people are reacting out of fear. They sell out of fear. They buy out of fear. The advice I'm giving you, just as I mentioned in my video this morning, is to hold on to your silver. The actual silver squeeze. Squeeze that silver that you already have. Do not let go. In fact, in times like these, maybe it's a good time to buy. It's much more powerful to buy right now when the price is low than during a coordinated silver squeeze. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Silver is the same today as it was yesterday, and it will be the same tomorrow. A wealth preservation device. Indeed, it will protect your wealth as long as you hold it for the length of time to make it so. So I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.